Today I'm making my favorite meal. This sheet pan pesto tortellini is amazing. It is my absolute favorite. I'm making it today just to eat throughout the week, and I just can never stop eating this one. First, grab a smoked sausage link, and you're just going to slice that up and then lay it on a large sheet pan. And then throw on however many grape tomatoes you want. And then about a 20-ounce bag of frozen tortellini. Mine was a family size bag, but I didn't use it all. Then grab some olive oil and then add about 3 tablespoons of that on there. And then 3 big old scoops of pesto. Season however you want. I'm using that garlic and herb seasoning. Toss that up till everything is coated, and you're gonna bake this at 400 degrees for around 25 minutes. If you want it a little crispier, you can add another 5 minutes to that. Now, whenever you take this out of the oven, you're gonna grab some Parmesan cheese and then freshly grate that over that, just like this. And then I add some red pepper flakes to the top. I am really obsessed with this one. I hope you guys give this one a try. Let me know if you do. Tonight's dinner was cheesy bacon ranch crispy chicken. This chicken was so easy to make and it was so delicious. First, I took 3 really large chicken breasts and then split those in half horizontally to make them thin. And now I'm just going to season them up really well. Just season them up however you want. And now I am crunching up a bag of croutons. You're just going to put those in a separate bowl and then season that up however you want to. I'm doing garlic powder, some onion powder, ranch seasoning, and red pepper flakes. Now take whatever your favorite ranch is and then add that to another separate bowl. You're going to dip that chicken into that ranch and then dip it into the crouton mixture. Make sure you press it into that crouton mixture really well so everything sticks on it. I then sprayed the tops of my chicken with a little bit of oil, and I'm baking that at 400 degrees for 20 minutes. And I'm taking that out and then adding just some shredded cheese to the tops and then a little bit of these bacon crumbles as well. And then put those back in the oven for just about 5 minutes until everything is nice and melted. This chicken was absolutely delicious. I hope you guys give this one a try. Let me know if you do. Tonight I made one of the best one-pan dinners I have ever made. First, grab a pound of bacon and just chop that up. Now add that to a large skillet and put it on medium heat and start cooking your bacon. Now to a large bowl, I added 1.5 pounds of chicken all cubed up and just season that really well however you want. These are the seasonings that I'm using. Just toss that up really well, and now you're going to add a few tablespoons of cornstarch to this and then toss it up again. And while that bacon is still cooking, I'm going to shred up my cheese. I'm shredding up this whole block, but you'll only use around half of it, maybe just a little bit more. Once that bacon was almost cooked through, I did add half a diced onion to mine. I think onion and bacon go so good together. Once that onion is translucent and that bacon is done cooking, take it out of your pan and let it drain on some paper towels. Now leave that bacon grease in your pan and start cooking that chicken. I cooked mine about 3 minutes on both sides. Then I kind of tossed it up for 30 seconds once I've done that until it's nice and crispy. Now remove that chicken from the pan. Now to the same pan, you're going to add this whole carton of chicken broth and then 1 pound of whatever kind of pasta you want, and set your heat to more of a medium-high heat. Then once it starts boiling, you're going to cook it for around 8 to 9 minutes until that chicken broth is absorbed and the noodles are cooked through. Now lower the heat and add 1 cup of heavy cream, or you could use half and half. And now start adding that cheese. I added around a cup and then stirred it up and then added another cup. This should melt pretty fast. Then you're going to grab that bacon from earlier and add the bacon and onion in there, toss it up a little bit, and then add your chicken in there. Then just mix it all up again. This dinner was so incredible. I hope you guys give this one a try. Let me know if you do.
Tonight we're making a really easy dinner that my family loves. First up, I'm sauteing an onion in some butter. While that cooks, I'm adding everything else to my crock pot. I'm doing a bag of those frozen meatballs, this whole carton of beef broth, 2 packets of brown gravy mix, a couple teaspoons or so of some Worcestershire sauce, and then we are adding mushrooms to ours. Alina is obsessed with mushrooms. You my onions are about done, I am adding a couple tablespoons of minced garlic to that. Now you're gonna add that to your crock pot as well. Just mix it up and then put them on high 3 to 4 hours or low 5 to 6 hours. And with this, we are making my favorite mashed potatoes. So it's about 5 pounds of potatoes. Peel those, chop those up just like you would normally make potatoes. And then you're gonna boil those until tender. Drain that water, and now you're gonna add everything in. So I'm doing 1 block of softened cream cheese, 1 cup of sour cream, a couple tablespoons of butter, and then you can season it however you want. I'm doing some garlic powder and then some pepper. Now you're just gonna mash these up. I'm just using my electric mixer. It's way easier. Just mash those up until everything is nice and creamy and combined. Then grab a 9x13 pan and you're gonna butter this really well. Then sprinkle some grated Parmesan cheese all over that. And now you're gonna add those mashed potatoes in. I love this one because you can make this ahead of time and then bake it later. Just spread those potatoes out and you're gonna sprinkle it again with some grated Parmesan cheese. And then top it with a little butter. Bake those at 350 degrees until golden at the top. To make my gravy thicker, I'm adding a cornstarch slurry to mine. Added 3 tablespoons of cornstarch with 3 tablespoons of water. Added that in and waited 30 minutes. It was nice and thick. Then once everything was finally finished cooking, I I added the mashed potatoes to my plate and then topped it with those meatballs and that gravy. This one is absolutely amazing. I really hope you guys give this one a try. Let me know if you do. Tonight's dinner was another really easy, simple dinner that was absolutely amazing. First, grab a pound and a half of ground beef and start cooking that. And then chop up a couple bell peppers and an onion. And if you want, you can skip the peppers and the onion. Then grab whatever kind of seasonings you want. I'm doing this spicy Italian today. Then I'm grabbing my cheese shredder and I'm shredding up a whole pound of mozzarella. Also, if you'd like to, you can switch out the ground beef for Italian sausage. That way it's so good. Once that ground beef is about done cooking, you're gonna drain all that grease. Now you're gonna season it really well. Then grab whatever kind of pasta sauce that you like and add that whole jar in there. And I'm adding a little water to my jar, adding that in as well. Just mix it up until everything's nice and combined. Now you're gonna grab a 9x13 pan and put a layer of that meat sauce down. Then grab some frozen ravioli and start layering that in. Just one layer. Then grab your favorite jar of Alfredo sauce and then drizzle that over the top. Just do about half of that jar right now. And then grab your meat sauce and then add that to the top of this and kind of just spread it around a bit. And take half of that mozzarella cheese and then sprinkle that all over the top. And then you're gonna do all those layers all over again. Then once you put that mozzarella on, you're gonna top it it with freshly shredded Parmesan cheese. Just make sure everything is covered. Now you're gonna cover this and bake it at 400 degrees for about 30 minutes, and then remove the cover for another 15 to 20 minutes. It should be a little golden and bubbly. This dinner was really delicious. We just served ours with some butter bread. I hope you guys give this one a try. Let me know if you do. Tonight's dinner is Mongolian beef and noodles. This is a big family favorite here, and it's really easy to make. First, get a pot of water boiling for your noodles, and then start cooking 1.5 pounds of ground beef. To a separate bowl, add 3/4 cups of low sodium soy sauce, a 1/2 cup of dark brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of hoisin sauce, 2 to 3 teaspoons of minced ginger, a dash of red pepper flakes, and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Whisk that up really well, and then just set it aside for later. Then once that water starts boiling, you're gonna add your noodles to your water and just cook those as the package directions say. I'm doing angel hair pasta this time. Usually we do fettuccine, but my kids are on a angel hair pasta. Once the ground beef is done cooking, you're gonna drain all that grease and add a couple tablespoons of minced garlic. Let that cook for 30 seconds or so, and then dump in your sauce. Then you're gonna take 1.5 cups of some pasta water and add that to it as well. And then you're just gonna heat this to boiling and then keep mixing it and then turn it down. Dishes start to to dig in right away. Once that pasta is all finished cooking, you're gonna add it to your sauce. Just toss this up really well and then add some sliced green onions to the top. This dinner is so amazing. I hope you guys give this one a try. Let me know if you do. Tonight's dessert was a golden Oreo lemon lasagna. This was incredible and really easy to make. First, grab a pack of golden Oreos and take 2 of those rows and then crunch them up really well. Add those to a large bowl and then you're gonna melt 1 stick of butter. Add that butter to your golden Oreos and then mix it up really well. Then grab a 9x13 pan. Add those crushed Oreos to it and then kind of press them in the bottom. And now you're gonna let this sit in your fridge or your freezer to harden, which will not take very long. Then grab another bowl. To that, add 1 block of softened cream cheese, 1 cup of powdered sugar, and then 1 cup of Cool Whip. You're gonna mix this up really carefully. I'm using an electric mixer on the lowest speed, and then I'm just kind of mixing up at the end. Just set this bowl aside for now. And now you're gonna grab another bowl. Make sure this one's larger. And you're gonna add 3 1/4 cups of milk to this, and then 2 packets of this lemon pudding. Mix this up really well and it'll set in just a few minutes. And now you're gonna grab that crust from your freezer, which should be hardened by now, and add that cream that lemon filling, and you're gonna spread this all around as well. And then add some more Cool Whip to the top. Make sure you get everything nice and even, and then you're gonna crunch up one more row of Oreos, and then sprinkle those all over the top. Then you're gonna let this sit in your fridge for about an hour or so. This dessert was so delicious. I hope you guys give this one a try. Let me know if you do. Tonight we're making the best crock pot cube steak. Changed my recipe up a bit from last time, and these came out even more tender. First, grab a skillet and start melting half of a stick of butter. And make sure to slice up 1 to 2 yellow onions as well. And now we're gonna grab all the seasonings for the cube steak. And this is what I'm using today. You can switch it up as much as you want. I grabbed some flour and add about a cup to a cup and a half of flour to a separate bowl, and then all those seasonings. Once your butter has melted, you're gonna throw those onions in. Now mix up that seasoning really well, and then grab your pack of cube steaks. I'm doing 8 of them today. Now just throw those cube steaks in that flour and then set aside. And this is the step that is going to make those cube steaks nice and tender at the end. Once those onions are about done, you're gonna put those in a separate bowl just for a minute. And then I'm adding a little bit more butter to my pan, and then throwing those cube steaks in. I'm cooking mine for about 3 minutes on each side until they're nice and golden. And I am doing mine in batches. This does take longer than just throwing them in your crock pot, but they taste even better. Then you're gonna grab that crock pot out out. And then add those keepsakes in. And if your pan still has some of that butter in there, go ahead and dump that in as well. And then add your onions. And I'm doing mushrooms with mine. You don't have to. And then I'm doing 1.5 cups of beef broth. I'm doing unsalted beef broth. And then 2 cans of cream of mushroom. And you could also switch out for cream celery or cream of chicken, whatever. And then a packet of Veggie mix, and you're gonna cook that for 5 hours on high. And for my simple mashed potatoes, we're just taking some store-bought mashed potatoes and then adding a half of a block of softened cream cheese, about a half of a cup of sour cream, some pepper, and some garlic powder. Just mix that up really well till everything is nice and incorporated, and then grab a small baking dish and then butter it really well. And then add some grated Parmesan cheese. And then add your mashed potatoes in there. Smooth it out. Top with more Parmesan cheese. And then some sliced butter on the top. Bake those mashed potatoes at 350 for about 30 minutes or until golden at the top. And if you want to, you can cook that keepsake on low too. It'll take about 8 to 9 hours, I think. We're putting those keepsakes on our mashed potatoes and then smothering it in some gravy. These were absolutely amazing. Tonight was another easy, simple, and delicious dinner. First, get a pot of water boiling for your tortellini. Then I'm grabbing a couple New York strip steaks, and you can do whatever kind of steaks you want here. Put a little oil on those and some salt and pepper. Cooking mine about 3 minutes on each side, going for a medium rare. Then I added a few tablespoons of butter and just basted that for 30 seconds to a minute or so. And then you're just gonna remove the steaks to let rest for a few minutes. And then you're gonna turn down this heat. And I'm adding about a fourth of a cup or so of some beef broth to deglaze the pan. And then I'm adding a couple more tablespoons of butter. And once that butter is about melted, I'm adding 4 cloves of garlic chopped, and then I'm just cooking that for like 30 seconds. Then I added 1 cup of beef broth, and you can season here with whatever you want. I'm just adding some Italian seasoning, and then 1.5 cups of heavy cream, and make sure the heat is low right here, and then you're gonna raise the heat to a boil. Let simmer for a bit, and I did want mine a little thicker, so I added cornstarch slurry. I did 1.5 tablespoons with 1.5 tablespoons of water mixed, and then added that in. Then I added about a cup of freshly shredded Parmesan cheese. And you can throw that tortellini in, because it does not take long to cook. Then I added a couple handfuls of some spinach and just mix this up really well. And then I started cutting my steak. Now once that sauce is done to your liking, you're gonna throw that tortellini in, and then mix it all up. And I'm topping mine with a little bit more Parmesan, red pepper flakes, and then that steak. This dinner was the best. I hope you guys give this one a try. Let me know if you do. Today I made one of my favorite dips ever. My mom would always always make these veggie pizzas for big family occasions, and I was always the first in line to grab a slice. I made mine into a dip, and it is truly amazing. It makes the perfect appetizer, or I love to just eat it for lunch. You will not be able to stop eating this one. First, grab a large bowl, and now you're gonna grab 2 blocks of softened cream cheese, and it does need to be softened. Then you're gonna grab some sour cream, add a half of a cup of that. Then you're gonna add a half of a cup of mayonnaise. And now 1 packet of ranch seasoning. Just take this and you're gonna mix it up until everything is well combined. Now you're gonna grab whatever veggies that you want in this. I always do a red bell pepper, some fresh broccoli. I'm doing around a cup of each topping. And make sure you chop up everything really small. I'm gonna do about a half of a red onion. You don't have to do as many red onions if you don't want to, but I'm obsessed with onions. And I always add a can of sliced black olives to this, and then a cup of shredded carrots. And after this is all mixed up really well, you want to take out a few scoops of this for the top of your dip. Now grab that cream cheese mixture and add it to those veggies, and then mix that up really well. And now you're gonna grab a block of cheese. I'm doing cheddar cheese, and I didn't quite use this whole block. I'm doing maybe 3/4 cups of shredded cheddar in there, and then mix it up really well. And then you're gonna grab around an 8x8 that tip to that and then smooth it out. And then you're gonna top it with a little more cheese and the rest of those toppings. I really hope you guys love this one. Let me know if you give it a try. Tonight's dinner was incredible. I made Mississippi beef, angel hair pasta. It sounds a little weird, but it's absolutely amazing. First, your pan, you're gonna start cooking some ground beef. I'm doing a pound and a half, or you could go up to 2 pounds, I think. Then you're gonna get a pot of water boiling for your angel hair pasta. Once that meat's about done cooking, you're gonna drain all that grease. Then I added about 2 tablespoons of ranch seasoning, and then 1 packet of ajouman. Then I just tossed it up for a bit. Then grab some unsalted beef broth and add 1.5 cups of this. Just mix this up really well, and it should start to thicken right away. Then you're gonna grab some pepperoncinis, and I added about 1/4 of a cup of that juice to that. And then I'm adding just a few of the pepperoncinis without the tops on them. And then mix it all up again. It should look like this. Whenever you get that all done, it is so amazing. If you want more sauce to that too, you could probably add another 1/2 cup. Then you're gonna cook that angel hair pasta. I'm doing a whole pound. Once that's finished cooking, you're gonna add that to your meat. Then just toss it up and you are ready to serve. Today's easy breakfast is French toast cup. to make, and they're just really delicious. First, I took 12 slices of bread, and I'm just putting mine in the oven while I make this up, just 'cause I want it a little crustier. And now to a separate bowl, I'm adding 5 eggs and 1 cup of milk. And we always use cinnamon sugar in our French toast, so I'm making up some cinnamon sugar to just a few tablespoons or so of sugar with a few teaspoons of cinnamon. To the eggs, I'm also adding a splash of vanilla and then a couple tablespoons of that cinnamon sugar. Once that bread comes out of the oven, it should just be a little crustier. You're gonna cut this into small cubes, just like this. And now you're just gonna dump all that bread into that same bowl with all the eggs and just mix it up really well. Now grab a muffin pan and then spray it with a little bit of oil. Now you're gonna fill each cup up with that French toast mixture. Usually I end up with 12 of them. Today I ended up with 11 of them. I probably should have added just a couple more slices of bread to that, but it's okay. You're going to bake these at 350 degrees for about 25 minutes. And when those come out, they do come out of the pan really well. For me, I just take a little spatula at the end of it and then pop them right out. We serve ours with some powdered sugar over the top, and then we dip them